Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Aqueduct Racetrack here on Saturday. It is the 9th of November 2024. Gonna look at the stakes action from the Big A, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean around the world. Let's look at the stakes action races. Where are we? Races 5, 8, and 9. Some good stakes races here on the grass. Let's get to it right now. The 5th race from Aqueduct, it is the Hill Prince Stakes. It's a grade 3 event going for a purse of $200,000, race for 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 7 horses going 1,800 meters or a mile and 1/8 on the outer turf course. Going to take the 7-horse Royal Majesty as a top selection. 7-2-4-3 for me in the superfecta. 7-2-4-3 super. Top selection 7-horse Royal Majesty. 3-year-old called by Frankel. Belmont trains. Junior Alvarado gets the mount. They ran the horse most recently about a month ago in the Geoponte here at Aqueduct, a mile on the inner turf course the 3rd of October, and it was a near success. He finished second by 2 lengths. He had a very wide trip. He was wide out of it most of the race. He was flying late. He just missed, but he ran his heart out. If he could run a race like he ran the Saratoga Derby, where he's a little bit more forwardly into it, I think if he does that, he could win. You know, it's not the world's toughest race and toughest horses he's facing today, and I think he's gonna, get first to the winner's circle today. But he showed potential last time out. He ran 2 back in the Saratoga Derby at Saratoga, mile 3/16 in the Melon on the 11th of August, and he finished 4th by 1.5 lengths that day. He stalked that day. He was just a little bit flat late. Carson's run really freaked that day. Deterministic was the next start winner in Virginia. Was running back in this win today, but again, he got down the race course well, and then the Belmont Derby here at Aqueduct over the mile 3/16 on the 6th of July. Belmont Derby at Aqueduct, I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but he finished 4th by 1 3/4 lengths. Tricari really ran terrifically, was the next start winner. This horse just wasn't getting into him, but he had a decent 3rd on this turf course in the Pennine Ridge, and one very nice lounge race at Keelan back in the fall. If he can run that lounge race like he did today, he could win. I think being forwardly paced has run some decent numbers as the season's gone on. I'm going to give him a shot here. The 2-horse Sergino for Flavian and Shug, I think, could win also. He just didn't handle Kentucky Downs. Over the mile 5/16 in the Nashville Derby, he finished 12th by 20 lengths. He had a very wide trip, and I just don't think he liked that course. Coming here off the second off the bench, lesser quality horses, I think he could find a trip to win. He broke his maiden on this turf course nearly a year ago to the day quite easily by a nose. Small margin victory, but I think, he really got the job done quite nicely done. Came back to run a very good place after that at Gulfstream, and then had a very nice place in the Conan Lima, earned Colonel Liam, and then the Transylvania behind Neat, and then he finally won the Abundance Stakes at Churchill back in the early June, winning by 1 1/4 lengths in the front, and he really took off clear. He has some forwardly pace. He could come from a little bit behind. He's drawn well. Gets one of the best turf riders in the country up. I'm going to use him on the ticket here in this very good end of the pick 5, beginning of the pick 6 race. So to recap my selection for the 5th from Aqueduct, it is the Hill Prince. We're going to take the 7-horse Royal Majesty. Give kudos to the 2-horse Sergino. 7-2-4-3 super. 7-2 in the multi-race. Let's head over to race number 8 now from Aqueduct, which is the Aqueduct Turf Championship. It's going for a purse of $150,000, race for 3-year-olds and upwards here in the Turf Sprint Championship. We have 12 horses entered, 11's an AE, 12's an MTO. 10 will head to the outer turf course, the 1,200-meter journey, or 6 furlongs in the outer turf course. Rails are out 24 feet, so they're quite far out for this week. I'm going to go with the 10-horse Sheffin as a top selection. 10-1-5-6 for me in the superfecta. 10-1-5-6 super. Top selection 10-horse Shefflin. This 4-year-old gelding by Cantheros here. Will Ori trains. Jose Ortiz gets the mount coming in from Kentucky. Ran the horse most recently on the 9th of March at Turfway, 6 furlongs in the Big Daddy Stakes, and he finished second by 3/4 length that day. And he had a dream tracking trip. He just missed late. The winner just had the jump on him. Was next start winner. But this horse got down the race course well. He's coming back to turf off the bench for the first time since his debut last November. He's training well at turf on the Tapeta. I think he could win and get the job done. He ran 2 back in opposite 40 at Turfway over the 6th and the 10th of February, which was a success. Winning by 3/4 of length that day. He basically won on the front and going away. That was a very good race from that day. And then opposite 25 at Turfway over the 6th, won by 4 1/4 lengths from a tracking trip. Again, very easy run. I'm not worried off the bench with this horse. Bill Morey has really good numbers, 29% out of 34 offerings with horses winning off the bench. Coming here to Turf sprint, good numbers. At 8-1 with Jose coming into town, I'm going to give him a shot on the ticket. I think the one-horse Son of a Birch at 20-1 for Tom Morley and Johnny V can win also. He ran most recently in the Belmont Turf Sprint here at Aqueduct over the 6, where he finished 4th by 1 3/4 lengths, where he was just a little bit wide. I thought he needed something more, but he outran his 26-1 odds that day. He ran prior to that in Option 80 here on the 4th of July. Going 3/4, a race that could have been a stakes race. He lost to Outlaw Kid, who's running back this one today, but he finished 3rd by 1/2 lengths, really gaining a lot of ground. And then a Monmouth over the 5.5 in Option 30 back in May, winning by a nose from a tracking trip. He really took off clear. If you look at those races last winter and at the end of last season, he really ran terrific races, even in defeat. He's coming here today. I think he could win at 20-1, and even the 5-horse Outlaw Kid, he won here in the summer quite nicely. Came back to win the Vice Regency at Regent at Woodbine quite nicely, 2 back, and then had a decent 4th in the Arctic where he just kind of yielded late. I think come back to this turf course against these horses, it wouldn't surprise me if he finds the winner's circle also. We'll use him in the late pick 4, but to recap my selection for the 8th now from Aqueduct, it's the Aqueduct Turf Championship. We're going to take the 10-horse Shefflin, give kudos to the 1-horse Son of a Birch and the 5-horse Outlaw Kid, 10-1-5-6 Super, 10-1 in the multi-race. The featured 9th race now from Aqueduct, it is the Red Smith Stakes. It's a grade 2 event going for a $300,000 purse race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 9 horses going to the inner turf course, the 2,200 meter journey, or mile 3/8 on the inner turf course. Gonna go with the 2-horse here, Interrogation as a top selection. 2-4-5-3 in the superfecta for me. 2-4-5-3 super, top selection 2-horse Interrogation. This 3-year-old colt by Quality Road. Shug McGahee trains. Flavian Pratt gets on this one for the first time. Most recently ran the horse in the Kentucky Turf Cup at Kentucky Downs, a 1.5 miles on the 7th of September, and he finished 4th by 4 lengths that day, and he was just wide, and he was flat that day. I don't know if he wanted to go that trip. I think coming back here to, a little less ground to a mile 3/8, getting Flavian up, who could use his horse's forwardly pace to his advantage, I think he could run a good race. Not to say, I think Kendrick knew the horse best out of anybody who's ridden this horse, but I think coming here with a change of rider with a longer trip, I think this is something Flavian's going to do a little bit better than Kendrick will do in the spot. He ran 2 back in the Arlington Million at Colonial over the 1.25 on the 11th of August. He finished 2nd by 1 3/4 lengths that day, and he sat back early. He was flying late. He just missed, but he ran a good race by Nation's Pride that day. And then the Millions preview at Colonial over the 1/8 on the inner on a very soft, boggy turf course in mid-July. He won by 6 1/4 lengths that day. He was facing nobodies that day, but he came home with a 100 mile. That was impressive there for it being his first start since the Turf Classic at Churchill. A 1/8 on the first Saturday of May. He finished 4th by 4 1/4 lengths that day, and he just never got going. He was just flat that day. But if you look at his first 3 outings ever last year, he ran terrifically. Broke the man at Colonial last August quite easily. Came back to win the Virginia Derby and tied the course record in the Hill Prince here nearly a year ago to the day, winning by 5 lengths at 80 cents a dollar. His turn of foot late was impressive. That was a very good, easy race. Coming here, a longer trip, Flavian up, I think that change could really suit him well. The very interesting horse here is the 4-horse City Man for Christoph and Joel. This horse has won against Open Company. He won the Fort Lauderdale quite a few seasons ago on New Year's Eve at Gulfstream quite easily from the rail. Came back to run a disappointing race in the Pegasus after that in 23. But, he's come into this longer trip for the first time, which I'm intrigued with. I think he looks like a kind of horse that could, stay a long while. He has run races fast enough to win here, but they have been, a little bit few seasons ago. But, he's a wise guy horse. He hasn't won yet this season. I'll give him a shot here on the ticket to end off his season. And even the 5-horse Limited Liability, he won the Nashville Gold Cup quite nicely at Colonial over the 2 miles on the 16th, and had a decent place behind the Grey Wizard in the Cape Hamilton. He's running these long distance races here, really running some terrific numbers. Coming here to New York at 5-1, I'll give him a shot at this very wide open feature. A lot of these races today at Aqueduct are wide open, so could go a few plays here. But to recap my selection for the 9th from Aqueduct, it is the Red Smith. Going to take the 2-horse Interrogation, give kudos to the 4-horse City Man and the 5-horse Limited Liability. 2-4-5-3 Super, 2-4-5 in the multi-race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.